Hey, beautiful souls, beautiful sunshine here at the R Holistic Killer, aka Sonia B. So I am back with a couple of quick prophetic messages. So with that being said, I just want to say for those of you who are new to my channel, I want to say welcome. And for those of you who are returning back, I want to say welcome back, okay? But before I get into the message, I do want to give you guys this important message as well, too. I did a prophetic message a couple of weeks ago, and the message that was given a couple of weeks ago, I said that something was going to happen in regards to like um, some people running, like a bunch of people running and taking cover in some sort of way. But I want to remind you guys to please be careful during this holiday season when you're out shopping, especially during Black Friday, as well as doing Christmas shopping throughout all the way up into the new year. Just be mindful, okay? Because like I said, again, I saw that there were a bunch of people running for cover like they were afraid or they were scared of something, okay? So I'm not sure exactly what it is. But anyway, I don't want to say what it is, but God didn't really give me the full details of that. So I just want to remind you guys to stay safe and to be vigilant, okay? So let's go ahead on and get into the prophetic message. So a message that I receive is that in this Megatron type of voice, Metatron, whichever one that was like the not so good one, it kind of came through in a voice like that. And all I heard was it says, the doors are open. Are you going to take it or leave it? Okay. So whatever that may mean for you, because for every situation and every person, we are all experiencing different, we're all experiencing different realities, okay? We're all in the same reality, but we're all experiencing different situations. Let me say that, okay? So, according to whatever lessons that we're having to learn. So, with that being said, I truly believe that that is also associated to another dream that I just recently had. And I heard like there are some people, because it came in the form of three people sitting on a bike, a female sitting at the backside, and we know we can't really get three people on a bike or whatever, but a female was sitting at the backside, and you can take this how it resonates for your situation, because it could come in like two men and one woman, or two women and one man. Okay, so but the way I saw it was a woman was behind a man, and then a man was in the middle, and then there was another woman in front of the man. Okay, the way I saw this was the lady who was behind the man, on the bike, should I say, she basically was she was there. Okay, this individual knew that she was there, and then the female that was in front of the gentleman on the bike, the other girl who was behind him didn't really stand out too much, okay? But I just know that this has something to do with something pertaining to a person's past, okay? Because they were behind him. And then the girl who was in front of the girl who was in front of the guy, it's almost like before it had zoomed in on her backside, I heard the three of them singing that they all were in sync, and it was really kind of funny. They was all like in sync talking about, I'm so frustrated. I'm so frustrated. It's like they was doing a music video but singing I'm so frustrated, okay? And then it zoomed in on the girl in the front of the guy's backside. So she had on these type of yoga pants, and it's the yoga pants, not it's the yoga pants that really has like the triangle going like near the back side of the butt that really enhances the butt cheeks to make it kind of stand out a little bit more. So I say all that to say, when I had the dream, and this was letting me know that some of you guys may find yourself being a little tempted during this time, and just remember that all the hard energy, effort, and work that you have put into doing your healing, just know that there are going to be times when tests come along where the divine spirit of light is going to always do something that's called a check-in. So as he checks in to see whether you're going to resort to going back to your old ways, in a sense, this is coming in a form of a test, okay? So just remember that everything that look like it's glitter is not necessarily gold, and that sometimes you are being tested by God, okay? And then I just heard the same way that you test other people, okay? So anyway, let's move on from that message. So just be mindful and just remember that all the energy that you put into trying to heal a situation, and and God will do these little check-ins periodically just to see where your mindset is, to see where your still is, see where your heart is still is, and see if you're still going to resort back to the old things that you used to do, okay? Okay, so this other dream came in a form of something pertaining to doctors, okay? It's almost like I got the feeling of, I'm not going to necessarily say exactly what I heard, but I'm going to sugarcoat it just a little bit. It was just to the point almost like, like doctors is almost like it was almost like coming in a form of, freak the doctors in a sense, okay? And this message is not for everyone, but it was just, it could be for a handful, could be for a few people, but it's just coming in a form of just saying freak the doctors, because it's almost like, now in this instance, the way I saw it was, it's almost like you're able to read this doctor's energy, whoever you could be, and whoever's dealing with this situation. Some of you guys are going to have just that intuitive side. You're going to be in tune to your sixth senses, that you're able to see through the doctors, the hidden agendas, because these are the things that a lot of people are experiencing right now. Because the other prophetic message that I did as well too, it was just talking about a bunch of doctors, you know, whether it was, you know, alternative doctors, whether it was, doctors of some kind, or whether it was like mental health type doctors in a sense. So, or not doctors, but counselors in a sense. So, and I say counselors because that's how it showed up in the dream, as if it was a counselor, not someone who necessarily prescribes medication. So anyway, but with that being said, but it could be different for other people. So nevertheless, for some particular reason, we're in the energies of like dealing with doctors, and maybe because during this time of the season that, you know, people are going to the doctors, okay, for these different ailments that's taking place, and illnesses, and dis-ease, okay, dis-ease in the body, and all of these dis-ease are happening for a reason. They make us uncomfortable because it's like there's something that you're not addressing that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be fixed, it needs to be healed. And it's not just so much of you healing it, oh, pop a pill, oh, okay, I'm done, I'm over with, I feel better. It's not that. It's on a deeper level, okay? Because as I told you guys before, that just as there's a physical world, there's also a spiritual world that's coexisting beside it. And for everything that happens physically, just know spiritually there's things that's happening as well that is lining up with the things in the spiritual world. So as I told you guys before, because I am a Reiki practitioner in a sense, and it's almost like, you know, sometimes when we deal with different ailments, there's something out of balance. There's something that is blocked. There's something that needs to be addressed, okay? And you know, I can't necessarily say exactly what it is, but each individual person that I deal with, you know, I'm kind of able to see the things that are kind of going on with them in a sense. But nevertheless, I just wanted to let you guys know that. So be mindful too, because you may hear some doctors saying that they're not quite sure what's going on, but just know and sure that the first thing they're probably going to do, either prescribe you something, or, you know, and even if they don't prescribe you something, it's going to be a matter of, I don't know what's going on, you know? So be mindful of that as well too, because like I said, in this dream, it's almost like somebody was just saying freak the doctors, because it's almost like they don't know. Let's just say that they don't know everything, okay? Where a lot of us have basically, you know, at least in the past now, but because God is waking us all up to the truth. And this is a disclaimer. I am not telling anyone not to deal with doctors, okay? You do exactly what you need to do according to what your body is telling you to do, okay? So like I said this is for different people dealing with different situations. I just said some of them are just saying freak the doctors because they realize that the doctors can't help them, because they're just like them. They don't know as much, you know, other than what they have research discovered. But nevertheless, that's just them being honest, okay? So respect that at least. So anyway, so the next message that came through is with the same dream. It's like the same doctor is like coming in a form. And remember, as I'm explaining it, it could be happening just a little bit different in your reality, okay? So some of you guys are going to be dealing with doctors to the point that you're going to realize and see that they have some sort of hidden agendas, okay? That's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to leave it at that. And then I saw in another message as well, too, something pertaining to like conjunctivitis or whatever, you know, with the eye. So just be mindful. Make sure you keep your hands clean. Make sure you keep your hands out of your eyes, especially if they're not clean, and out of your face area, and, you know, just other things, and wash your hands, okay? But nevertheless, again, pertaining to doctors. But, you know, even this conjunctivitis could be other illnesses that could be taking place as well, too. You know, strep, conjunctivitis, and other things, okay? So just be mindful of that. So this next message that I received was okay, so there are going to be some people who are trying to get your attention, okay? So be mindful of that. So whether it's you just suddenly start to hear like a lot of noise and it just gets your attention, and you just so happen that you look to see what's going on or what's taking place, just know that some things are being purposefully done, okay? Like even if it's like being somewhere and somebody's just, you know, just making some type of noise just to try to get your attention, okay? So be mindful of that. The other thing was, I saw that some people may be dealing with a situation that they may be thinking about going back to their old neighborhood that they may have grew up in. Be mindful of this, because it's almost like the divine spirit of light has shut down something old, and it's like he's rebuilding something new in that area energetically to the point that you're not going to necessarily resonate with the neighborhood anymore. So I say all that to say, what you was once comfortable with when going back to that old particular neighborhood, it's almost like now it's not going to even feel like it resonates with you any longer, okay? So just be mindful of that. Then I received another dream too, where I saw as if it was like, you may be dealing with a situation where somebody may be looking. It could be somebody, your next door neighbor, you know, or just, I don't know, maybe a coworker. Take it how it resonates. Again, it's going to be different for everybody. But it was almost as if like a neighbor you ran into a neighbor, somebody was having like some sort of gathering, and a neighbor was pointing out something about a window or something being dirty in a sense. And it's almost like the person didn't really say anything. So just be mindful of that. Create boundaries during this holiday season with people, because people may try to overstep their boundaries, okay? But nevertheless, it's almost like I saw another dream too, where within that same dream, like the gathering, it was almost like there was a snake that had creeped up out of nowhere, okay? It came just up out of nowhere. And the way I saw this was a snake had kind of crawled up on the shoulder. And snakes in dreams usually can mean either healing, or it could just mean that to watch your back, okay? So the way I saw this dream was the snake had kind of crawled up a shoulder of a person, and then it all of a sudden wrapped itself around the person's throat. So with that being said, you guys be mindful, because I think right about now, God is really asking you to clear your throat chakras, and that takes energy, you know, that takes work to, you know, to heal your throat chakra. And, you know, what does that mean? Sometimes some people need to speak up, and if you should be having a situation with your throat chakra that's going on, if it's agitated in some sort of way, there's some sort of blockage that's there, okay? And a lot of times that blockage should come from, you know, any unhealed emotions that you have not addressed yet, you know? So I say all that to say, and again, it's going to be different for other people. Some people may need to speak up. Some people may need to address certain things in regards to watching the way that they speak, changing, I just thank you, Spirit, changing the way that they speak to people in a sense. So if you're somebody that go around saying, oh, well, F you this and F you that and blah, blah this and blah, blah that, it's almost like anything, thank you, Spirit, anything that's coming out of the throat, if it's coming out of a place of not being kind in a sense, you may find yourself dealing with issues of the throat, okay? So be mindful of that as well, too. Those are all signs of just kind of like dealing with the throat chakra being blocked in some sort of way, okay? The next message, but nevertheless, the snake had wrapped itself around the person's throat really, really tight. But it just so happened that they managed to get the snake off, contain the snake. So I say all that to say, either there's going to be a situation that you're going to learn to change the situation in order to be able to heal it so that it doesn't suffocate you in a sense. In other words, it's almost like you're going to, because sometimes God would allow us to experience different ailments, and they happen for a reason. And the reason why they happen is because God is trying to get us to change our mindsets, to change the way we're thinking, change the way we're approaching certain situations. Thank you, Holy Spirit. Changing the way that we're dealing with certain situations in our life, okay? So just know, as I said before, again, different ailments happen because of situations, you know, pertaining to our choices that we're making in our everyday life, okay? And it could even be stuff that's coming up from the past as well, too, that needs to be addressed. So the next message that I received was, hold on, y'all. Oh, shoot, I didn't write the other thing. Okay, so I want to say this too. During this holiday season, some of you guys may be finding yourself traveling. This is so important right now, okay? Some of you guys may be finding yourself traveling during this time. But what is going to happen is, the way I saw this was, as you travel to a specific location, whether it be to a family member's house, maybe you haven't seen in a while, or maybe a family member may have moved to a new location, or maybe you may, let's just say, what just came to mind. Let's just say if you're having a family gather up at the Hamptons or something like that. So what's going to end up happening is it's almost like you're going to tap into that past life energy while there. So the people that you kind of came there with, in a sense, it's like y'all gonna it's almost like people are gonna be kind of excited to have the gathering, but then all of a sudden something's gonna switch, shift, and change. And I say all that to say because it's almost like people, they gathered, and then all of a sudden I saw like somebody having like a feud or some sort of feud in some sort of way, like they started kind of being at odds with somebody else. And then all of a sudden I saw there was another situation to where I guess the person must have walked away, like, you know what, I'm not dealing with this. And the way I saw it was one person was inside the house and 3 people was outside the house. Like, it just lets me know it's kind of pertaining to like a third party situation, not necessarily cheating, but just third party, meaning 3 people pertaining to that situation. So something's going to be with 3 people kind of like bullying, nitpicking in some sort of way. Okay, so just be mindful of this, and be mindful, please be mindful. And I just saw 555 as I said that. Okay, 555 usually represents change. So I say all that to say, after the person walked away and was like removing himself from the situation, then the 3 people kind of came back, and it's almost like they was taunting them, you know, just looking at them like, come on, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this, trying to get the person to come outside and talk about it. And the person was just like ignoring them, like, no, I'm not coming outside. So basically, not only that, but that was one situation in the dream. And the way I saw it also too, because remember, it's like a big gathering place, like, you know how people rent out the Airbnbs of a house and it's like several different people, different family members. They say aunts, uncles, whatever, aunties, whatever, all in the house, cousins, whatever. But nevertheless, there's other parts of the house. It's like I was able to tune into the energy and able to see, like, within that modern day house, I was able to see like a old bathroom structure. Okay, so either some of you guys may see this, sense this, or realize that there's some history behind that house, in a sense, but nevertheless, wherever at this period in time, if you show up at that particular location, what's going to happen is it's almost like y'all going to tune into that past life energy of the energy that you have had with each and every one of those individual people. So remember, people that are in our everyday lives, that are within our immediate environment that we talk to on the daily, or co-workers, or whatever the case may be, sometimes these people are soulmates that you have had from a previous lifetime. Well, sometimes you don't always know what situation that you may have had, whether it was a good situation or whether it was an unpleasant situation, or whether it was a situation that could have been harmful or hurtful towards you, or you towards them, in a sense, from the past. But so just be mindful of that, because like I said, I see some stirring up of energies of some sort of feud kind of taking place. Okay, but it's pertaining to past life energy. So with that being said, and I just want to remind you of this too, thank you, Spirit, because my daughter actually told me yesterday about it. I'm not going to get into too much detail because I don't really know, and I didn't even know this information until she shared it with me. But she mentioned to me about there was a situation that a young lady and a group of her friends went over to Mexico, in a sense, on vacation, and something happened there to where the girl's life was taken. That's kind of like an example of what I'm talking about in regards to when I heard her say that. That was almost kind of confirming the dream that God had actually given me. But I'm not saying that that's her situation. It's not. It could have been pertaining to like something similar to what she was dealing with when they all showed up in Mexico. It's almost like something was being activated, that old energy, in a sense. I don't understand, but anyway, nevertheless. So just be mindful during this holiday season, because I truly feel like there, again, is a lot of past life energy that's kind of coming up that needs to be addressed. Something pertaining to 3 people in particularly, which usually kind of always comes around about this time of the year anyway. And thank you, Spirit. And I just heard like betrayal. So just be mindful, okay? Betrayal in some sort of way. So just watch people. And it's almost like be quick to listen, but slow to speak. Even if it's pertaining to like family members, okay? I don't care if it's your mother, your sister, your cousin, your dad, your aunt, your auntie, your best friend that's been your friend all your life. Sometimes we have stuff that are buried so deep down within our heart space, we don't even know it's there until it starts to come up. And then for a situation that could have been, let's say you could have been best friends since elementary school, and all of a sudden something shifts within that person because now something is rising in them, and it's coming from the heart space that may have all been there all along, but now it's come into play because the perfect environment, the perfect timing. You know, everything has its divine timing when things happen, activate, and, you know, can shift in a situation. So I'm giving you this as an example. Then all of a sudden, who you thought was your best friend now is almost like your frenemy. Okay, so be mindful of this as well too, and that can apply to family members as well too. Okay, so anyway, but let's move on. But may that young lady's soul rest in peace, and hopefully justice will be served. But I'm leaving it at that because, again, I don't know the full story. But and I want to give you, okay, so 2 last messages, y'all. So the other messages, there could be a situation where somebody is dealing with a situation where maybe something is happening. I don't know. I kind of got the feeling like outside somewhere. So just be mindful. Somebody could be dealing with a situation where something happens and somebody need emergency medical care. And it's kind of almost like a nurse may be around in a sense. It may be tending to that person, but they may be calling out for someone else to say, hey, call 911. So just be mindful of that. If somebody, you know, is asking you to call 911, you know, just they're asking you to call because, you know, they're in need of some assistance because they're trying to assist somebody else who need medical health care, immediate medical health care. Okay. So anyway, this last message came through as just be mindful, you know, again, during these times, because the way, thank you, Spirit, try to read the room. Okay. Read the room, read the room, read the room. That's all I'm going to say. Just be mindful from now all the way up until, you know, this holiday season, especially if you have to be around other people. So, you know, if you someone, I'm not telling you not to make jokes, and I'm not telling you not to be always, what's the word? Talking trash or whatever the case may be. Just be mindful, because the way I saw this was, it was as if somebody was going through something, experiencing something, and it's almost like they was experiencing something and a person was kind of nitpicking at them, like talking trash to them. So just be mindful, because again, we don't know what people are going through. We don't know what they're experiencing during this time. And you just have to be mindful. You give people that same grace that you would want them to give to you. If you want to be left alone, leave people alone. Okay. Especially if you see that they are, you know, emotionally upset about something, or they just need a moment, or they feel like they're less talkative, or they just feel like they're in their own personal space. Just respect that. Okay. For your own personal safety, okay? Because you don't know, again, when stuff is coming up, a person, you don't know how they may react, okay? So just be mindful of that. So anyway, those are all the messages that I have for you guys. But again, I'm going to say it again. Please be careful during this holiday season, okay? So with that being said, I wish you all much love, much light, and I say peace and blessings. Bye.